Okay, today we're doing volume of a cylinder. Before I talk about volume, I want to talk about area. Area was two-dimensional shapes. Okay, so if we did the area of a rectangle, the formula for area of a rectangle is area is base times height. Then the formula for area of a circle is pi r squared. Pi times the radius squared. And area was always or is always in square units because it's square units like inches squared, feet squared. The exponent is a 2 because it's a two-dimensional shape. So in talking about volume, volumes are three-dimensional shapes. So today we're doing cylinder, which looks like this. So volume means if this was a soda can, how much liquid can fit inside the soda can? It's a three-dimensional shape. With that, volume is in cubic units, meaning there are three different ways you can write your units. You can write, if it was inches, you can write as inches cubed, or cubic inches, or cubic with the symbol inches. Don't ever use the symbol inches and the exponent together, because if you try to do that, it looks like inches cubed, and that looks like 113. Don't do that, okay? So this is how we write cubic inches. Inches cubed, cubic inches, or cubic inches. It's a 3D shape, so that's why it's cubed. Your exponent is a 3. So the formula for volume of a cylinder, volume is pi r squared times the height. You'll notice that this is the area of the base. The base of a cylinder is a circle. The volume of any shape is the area of the base times the height. So for volume of a cylinder specifically, it's pi r squared times the height. That is the formula. So with that, look at 24C number 3. So we're doing this cylinder right here. We want the volume. I recommend you write the formula every time you do it, because when you write the formula, you will automatically memorize it, okay? So now we plug in what we know. Volume. For pi, for this book, we will use 3.14. That way we'll get the same answers as the book. This means pi times r squared times the height. So now 3.14 times r is the radius. Here, radius is from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. This radius is 15 inches. So we're taking 15 and we need to square it. We're squaring the radius, not the height, only the radius. And then times the height, our height is 8 inches. So PEMDAS order of operations says do exponents first. So we have 3.14 times 15 squared, 225. That means 15 times 15, not 15 times 2, times 8. Now multiply all those numbers together. And again, you can use your pi button on your calculator, but if you use 3.14, then you'll get the answers in the back of the book. So multiplying all those together, I got 5,652. Now I put my units on there. Volume is always cubic inches. This was inches. 2 marks is inches. So that would be inches cubed, or cubic inches, however you want to say it. Either way to say it is fine. Inches cubed, cubic inches, same thing. Okay, look at 24C number 4. We have another cylinder. So what is the formula for volume of a cylinder? Volume is pi r squared times h. Pi times r squared times h. That's the formula for volume of a cylinder. According to the formula, we need the radius. Always look in your picture to see, have they given you the radius or they given you the diameter? Radius is from the center of the circle to the outside. What they gave was all the way from one side to the other, which is the diameter. So that 8 feet, 1 mark feet, that 8 feet represented from one side to the other, which is the diameter. Radius is half of that. So if the diameter is 8 feet, the radius would be 4 feet. I recommend you write that on your paper because then you can visually see it, and that way you won't forget to plug in the radius. So watch for, do they give you the diameter or do they give you the radius? You always need the radius. So volume equals pi is 3.14 times the radius. Our radius is 4. That's what we need to square. Times our height, which is 7.5. PEMDAS says do your exponents first. So that would be 3.14. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, times the height. Now multiply all your numbers together. And that would be 376.8. You might not always get a whole number. 376.8. And then put in your units. Do not forget your units. One mark is feet. So that was feet cubed or cubic feet. Volume is always, always in cubic units. All right, look at number 24E15, word problem. How many cubic feet of water? How many cubic feet? Cubic feet represents volume. So this means you're wanting volume. What is the volume of the water? How many cubic feet of water are in a pool with a radius of 3 yards and a height of 5 feet? Round to the nearest whole number. Okay, it's asking for how many cubic feet. We want our final answer to be in cubic feet. Well, they tell us that the radius is 3 yards, the height is 5 feet. Your units don't match. You always, always need to have matching units before you can calculate. Since we want our answer in feet, we need to change this 3 yards into feet. So you have to go through the process. How many yards are in a feet? How many feet are in a yard? There are 3 feet in every yard. So if we have 3 yards and there are 3 feet in every yard, then that would be 3 times 3, which would be 9 feet. Which means my radius would be 9 feet. My height is 5 feet. Now all my units match. Okay, so now we can calculate the volume, and this is a cylinder, by the way, because if you have a pool that has a radius, that means it's round. It's a cylinder type pool, not a rectangular type pool. So volume of a cylinder, pi r squared h. So that equals 3.14. My radius, I have to use the 9 feet to be matching units. 9 squared times my height of 5. PEMDAS says do the exponents first. So 3.14, 9 squared is 81 times my 5. So multiplying all those numbers together, I got 1,271.7, and then that was feet, so that's got to be cubic. Okay, and then the problem tells us round to the nearest whole number, so we're rounding to the units place value. So since this is 5 or more, this will round up. So our volume will be 1,272 cubic feet. That will be our final answer of rounding. So now look at problem number 16. Number 16 says a cubic feet. 1 cubic foot of water is 7 gallons. How many gallons can the pool in number 15 hold? Well, 1 cubic foot is 7 gallons. So we have 1,272 cubic feet. So the first cubic foot is 7 gallons. The second cubic foot is 7 gallons. The third cubic foot is 7 gallons. The fourth cubic foot, and all the way on. If I could do 1,272 of my fingers, every 1,272 of those cubic feet is 7 gallons of water. So how do we find out how many gallons we have? We take 1,272 and multiply it by our 7 gallons. And that comes out to 8,904 gallons of water, because it was how many gallons of water.